Welcome to the 2010 Candidate Forums featuring elections for local, state, and congressional offices, recorded live from the B.W. Simpkins Center at BCC's Cocoa campus. These forums are made possible through a partnership between Brevard Community College, Florida Today, the League of Women Voters, and the Space Coast Tiger Bay Club. And now, tonight's forum.
Good evening and welcome to this, the fifth in a series of candidate forums here in the B.W. Simpkins Fine Arts Auditorium at Brevard Community College's Cocoa campus. I'm J.B. Comp, President-elect of Tiger Bay Club, and we're in partnership with BCC, Florida Today, and the Space Coast League of Women Voters to bring you these informative discussions. Tonight we'll be featuring the three candidates for District 24 Florida State Senate. And before I introduce you to the candidates, let me explain the format for tonight's forum. There'll be a 2-minute opening statement by all three of our candidates, followed by questions from the audience, the live studio audience here in the B.W. Simpkins Auditorium. I'll direct those on a rotating basis to each of the candidates. They'll have a minute to respond to those questions and an optional 30-second rebuttal opportunity. Following the final candidate response, the candidates will be given a 1-minute closing statement opportunity. All right, Steve, you'll get the first opportunity to answer the next question, a two-parter, and you'll have a minute to respond. Then we'll go to Thad and Bart in turn. Do you support light rail, sun rail, or any other named rail system for Florida, and will you repeal the Florida Train to Nowhere?
Well, I think that the rail system is particularly the one that was just passed and helped to be pushed through by Senator Altman, was one of the reasons why I got in the race. This is a situation that is overly funded because of special interest involvement, and it is a situation that's going to raise your tax burdens, especially here in this district, and provide no service for you. This is a situation of party politics getting in the way of representing your constituents. The party wanted this. Mr. Altman chose to do this in opposition of what his constituents wanted, and now we all have to pay for it.
Senator Altman?
If we're going to be a quality state, we must be able to move people. You cannot be a world-class state or community if you don't have some form of mass transit and an integrated intermodal system. Roads, ports, airports, and rail. The rail system that we approved in the legislature will hire as many as 10,000 people to design and to build this new rail system. The high-speed rail proposal, one of the companies is proposing to hire as many as 1,000 aerospace workers. This is about jobs. It's about mobility. It's about economic prosperity. A lot of the monies that are going to go into the acquisition of the right-of-way, it's an existing rail line. It's a rail system that's already there. It's the most affordable way of providing rail services in Orange County. A lot of those dollars are going to go to improve our ports, for example, so we can be more competitive when they widen the Panama Canal. This is a jobs bill. This is for economic prosperity and quality of life. It was the right thing to do. The people supported it. Virtually every county in Central Florida along that rail corridor voted unanimously to pay for the operation of that. That's overwhelming public support.
I don't support the train. I believe that trains are a 20th century solution to a 21st century problem. And the United States of America was built on freedoms. We value our freedoms. We use our freedoms through highway systems. And through highway systems, we can use our cars to get from point A to point C at any time we want. I find it ironic that Senator Altman was able to find $30 million for aerospace, but was also able to find $1.3 billion for trains. Now, that was part of the Brevard delegation and the entire Senate and House in Florida that supported that. But space is pretty important for this community. I think we should be fighting a lot harder for that.
Steve, do you have a 30-second rebuttal you'd like to give?
Indeed, I do. The first thing that I would like to point out is that many of these jobs that are going to come out for the rail and the construction of the rail are going to be transient. They're not going to stay here. We're not going to enjoy the continuation of their economy. The second thing I'd like to point out is that this is a project that was overly funded. Do your research, folks. We paid an awful lot per mile for tracks that were already built.
Senator?
Yes, the point about the 1.3 billion, yes, that's 1.3 billion of federal funds. Had we not approved a rail plan, an ability to respond and provide rail, that money would have ended up in another community. It would end up in another state. So our taxpayers' funds would have gone toward building somebody else's rail system. That's not the way we want to spend our federal tax dollars. We need to bring our dollars back here to the state of Florida so we can provide adequate transportation, provide jobs, and protect our quality of life. I'm here to fight. I'm here to fight for Brevard and Florida residents, not for sending money to other states.
Sometimes in business, it is prudent to make hard business decisions. Sometimes you have to give up opportunity for the long-term good of your company. In the case of the $1.3 billion, it is better for the long term for Florida to have given that money up and let it go somewhere else so that we could not have unfunded mandates and a need to support a rail system that's going to carry maybe 3,000 people in the future.
Before we go on, I was about to compliment the studio audience for not applauding. I think many of you have been to these forums before. It certainly gives us more time for the candidates to respond to more questions, to give us more information on which to base our votes. Please restrain yourself, cheer, applaud, criticize within.